Hey guys, welcome back to my channel today. I have a tiny haul for you. And the reason it's tiny was because it was not my intention to actually do a haul, but I was forced to go to a company's website because I could not locate their products in store, yet everybody all over the place is talking about them, and I'm like, where are you finding them? So specifically what I'm talking about is by Wet n Wild, the Mega Glow highlighting powders, and everybody kept saying really fabulous things about it and I couldn't find them. So I finally went to the website, but I thought to myself, if I'm gonna be shopping at the website, let me add a couple other things. And so I want to share some Wet n Wild products with you. By the way, right before I get started on that, I just want to let you know I have been working today all day out in a place, and I was on my feet, and I am wearing the Hourglass Vanish Seamless Foundation Stick, which I almost launched across the room. And I just want to say, all day. It has lasted all day. The only thing I had to touch up was my nose, and that was because I blow my nose all day because I have the worst allergies on the planet. So only my nose all day. Did not have to mattify. Super impressed. I did a review on this actually, and I will link that video. Check it out if you have not been convinced to add this to your collection. So let's talk about these Mega Glow highlighters. I got both shades because I was like, go big or go home. And again, when it comes to highlighters, it's kind of difficult to find a quality highlighter from the drugstore. There definitely are some out there. Physicians Formula comes to mind, having made a good highlighter. They're a little bit expensive though as well, about $15 give or take, but you can find in the drugstore and you don't have to shell out $30 plus in order to get a decent highlight. But everybody kept talking about these, and this is my impression. The powder that's called Precious Petals, this is kind of a neutral highlighter. I like how it doesn't have flecks of glitter in it. It is reflective, but definitely not too much. It doesn't necessarily last all the live long day, but you know what? Like if you were going out at night, honestly, like this would be the highlighter that you could definitely go with. It most closely resembles, if I were to pick a higher end brand highlighter, it most closely resembles the highlighter by MAC, the Soft and Gentle highlighter. I am not saying it is a dupe. I do not necessarily attest to the fact that they are 100% the same quality, but as far as the color and the reflect and the tone, it reminds me of Soft and Gentle. The other highlighter that they put out was called Crown of My Canopy. Neither of which makes sense. Crown of My Canopy. This one is definitely more of a rosy gold tone and shade. It actually reminds me just a hair of the rose gold one by Becca. You can see it picks up a little bit, much actually pinker than the original shade does. Again though, I can see what everyone's talking about. These highlighters do not have any glitter in them. They go on evenly. Sometimes I find that highlighters, if they aren't a good quality, they kind of go on somewhat splotchy even. Like they almost skip the color in different locations. The other highlighter that I got, which I love, is the Mega Glow Highlighting Gold Bar. Looks like the Charlotte Tilbury gold bar, doesn't really perform like it, but this is probably my favorite highlighter out of all of them and wasn't even the one that I was necessarily looking for. This is a yellow highlight. Yellow in tone. Again, not glittery or speckly, with just harsh deposits of sparkle. It does not have that. It's really smooth. It is a very friendly highlighter. I love the very neutral shade. It's actually a little bit golder than the original highlight that I was talking about, Precious Petals. By comparison now, Precious Petals has a hint of pink to it. The Crown of My Canopy is rosier, and then this gold bar is definitely more of like a goldy champagne. By far my favorite of the three. So real quick, I picked up just a couple other things since I was forced to shop at the website. This is an oldie but goodie. This is the Mega Glow Contouring Palette. This is the Dulce de Leche shade. I believe this is the lighter shade of the two. So it is not a highlight and a contour. This is strictly contour. So you can cut and sharpen your contour with this real pale kind of white shade. I don't use this. I don't ever want my contour to look so harsh. I want it to look very well blended. So I don't use the leche shade. Is that what that means? Dulce de leche? Leche? Is that the milk? I have no idea. Okay. But the contour side, I love it. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Hoola, which you know is like my holy grail bronzer. So you can contour with it because it's a little bit warm, but it's not like orangey warm, which I love. But you can definitely all over bronze with it because it's just a very, like I said, on the warm side, but not warm. You know, so it's warm and not warm. I picked up an eyeshadow palette from them. It says that it's a new release. I don't know how long it's actually been out. It's called Nude Awakening, and it kind of resembles all of the plummy, kind of pinky palettes that are out there now. This does not have a crease shade in it. The closest thing to a crease shade is this one right here. It has kind of speckly, it's got glitter, it's not matte. All of the ones that are shimmers are not actually shimmers, I feel. I feel like they're a little bit more on the glitter side. They're a little bit harder to work with. Like if you have a budget and you don't have a ton of money to spend, I don't think this is a bad shadow palette, but it does take a little bit of work in order to get it to apply evenly and blend out really well. I think this shade selection was really good, like I said, except for the fact that there is no really good crease transition shade here, which really pisses me off. But I gotta say, it doesn't really last. I wore it for the same duration that I do some of my higher quality shadows, like by Anastasia, Makeup Geek, MAC even, and it didn't last. It was pretty faded. It didn't fade ugly, like it wasn't an ugly fade, but it faded by the end of day, and I was like, okay, I'm sorry, I can't, no, I can't. I don't recommend. No buy. The last thing I got was a lip gloss. They had a number of shades, and I was like, okay, well, I've got a ton of lip glosses, but this one by Color Icon caught my attention because it's kind of an iridescent. I am wearing it over top of a ColourPop lipstick, which is called Grunge. It's one of their mattes. And I decided to use this lip gloss to add a little bit of gloss, but a ton of iridescence, and that was what I thought was really cool about it. So it picks up kind of pinky purple almost. Really comfortable lip gloss and not too sticky, doesn't wear off like super easily, but just really interesting. It's not a clear, it's like a clear with like an iridescent pearl to it, and I thought that was pretty creative. Couple things that are not necessarily brand new to me, but I just want to mention, so if you do wind up going to the website, definitely check out the Color Icon blushes. I have two of them, Apricot in the middle, which is the peachy one, and then Rose Champagne, which is exactly just that, is a rose kind of, I don't know, champagne. I can't get the container open. So this is the Rose Champagne. Super, super pretty, subtle, go with any kind of look. Champagne. I have no more room to swatch. Okay, let's do it on the inside. So kind of a rosy champagne, which again is what it's called. And the apricot in the middle is a really pretty, subtle, very easy to wear peachy shade right here, which I love both of them, and they're both super affordable. I think they're like $3. Definitely check that out. Wet n Wild also makes the Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. This doesn't change the color of your lid, which I usually go for, which is why I use a MAC paint pot. But when you're just looking for a nice prep for your shadow, this is an awesome, really affordable eyeshadow primer. The last thing I got was a buttload of their brushes. The pink, vegan, natural brushes. I was able to find a fan brush. I hadn't really seen that in store. I got a bunch of concealer brushes, which are small, but not quite as small as the e.l.f. $1 concealer brushes, which I live for. Check out my review on that brush and all the wondrous things that you can do with it. But they've got a really small, can do really fine work with their concealer brushes. They have some blending brushes and crease brushes, which are really soft. They won't move a lot of shadow pigment around. They'll keep the color true, and it won't wear it away by blending it away with too hard a brush. And then I got a blush brush because they're pretty soft and fancy, and I absolutely really love these brushes. For brushes that are $3 or less, I've washed them a number of times. They don't spit their bristles out all over the place and their hairs. They're really soft, no prickle. can't say enough about them, and even if they didn't last me for 10 years, how can I complain because they're less than $3? So that's my mini haul at Wet n Wild. I hope that I was able to give you some helpful information. If I was, then please give this video a thumbs up, and I would love it and invite you to subscribe to my channel because it totally supports my channel and helps me grow, which is what I'm trying to do. Thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. In the meantime, thanks.
Look at how good that is. Look at how well that even just picks up on the camera. Oh my gosh.